It's the Poker News Podcast.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 852nd episode of the Poker News Podcast. I am Chad Holloway at Level 9 Studio in Las Vegas, joined by the regular crew, Kyna England and Mike Holtz, fresh from the Bahamas. You got that Bahama red glow.
Yeah, they say when you go there, you get a red glow afterwards. And yeah, I'm the epitome of that.
Or you come back with polka dots?
Sunscreen, Mike, sunscreen.
Something. I feel discriminated against right now.
You really are a ginger, man, because like I kind of look like a ginger, but like when I get sunburned, I don't get spotted.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have called it spotted, but that's the word you went with, and we'll remember that as it is stored in digital record and audio record. So
Mike Holtz is a ginger.
When you were gone last week, we had Lily Newhouse fill in, and she, of course, is the loose cannon on the new big game, which we won't go over it too much, but she's actually like even now. I just watched the most recent episode. So
sick.
Yeah, tune in if you need to. I think there's 2 more episodes left, and we'll see if she can turn a profit. But it's good to have you back here because we got something exciting to talk about. There was this huge cash game this past week. It was one of these Triton Cash games, and I read this article on Poker News. The article said something along the lines of Tony G won a $2 million pot, but still lost it still gets crushed in the Triton Cash game. Like, how does that happen? How do you win a $2 million pot? We're going to show some hands in a minute.
Well, you get farted on multiple times in other pots, and then you leave, you come back, and you make a nice bluff or two, and you still end up losing money.
It's just crazy that, like, I didn't even know this game was happening. It was a minimum $500,000 buy-in, 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 blinds. These Triton games are just huge. I mean, they are catered to the highest of high rollers, right? They're going to come to the WSOP Paradise and play some high rollers in December. We're going to talk about that later on in the show. But I don't know, this one was just absolutely wild. I sent you guys some clips. We're going to show some. In fact, let's just show the first one right now. This is the $2 million hand that Tony G won. Check it out.
Tan's going to limp the small blind. Tony G on the Shadow Jack 8 suited is going to say more. Tan looking to do some damage against Tony.
Six-five tray, open ender and backdoor diamonds, checks over to 2 overs and the flush draw.
A very fair fight between 2 very different kind of draws. And he is still going to check raise.
Note that King High is actually the best hand right now. Basically a flip with 2 to come. Advantage Tony.
Oh, that's full pot, isn't it?
Tony G being asked to pay a very hefty price. Amounts to nothing more than Jack High right now, and every now and again is a hand that when the spade does roll off, is still
oh my God! All
over the top
in.
and takes it down.
You got to show this, Tony. You have to. Show the Jack of Spades.
Wow, what can I do?
Oh my God!
Who won? I won. Come. I have the heart and commitment to the game.
I knew it. Honestly, I knew it, Tony. I really just knew it.
All right, so there you have it. Jack High, Kyna. I mean,
It's
how do
hard
you
to win
$2
$2 million with Jack High, man. What a pro.
It's insane. Now, you must be wondering, like, all right, he wins almost $2 million with Jack High. How does he lose in this game? Because Tony G was the biggest loser. Fun fact, Tony G was the man who started Poker News.
Right, I remember you saying that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool stuff.
Yeah,
Shout out to Tony G.
I go back so far. 2010 was my first year with Poker News, and I met him once when he still owned it. It was probably 2011, 12 at Aussie Millions. And a very interesting guy because what you see on TV, sometimes very boisterous, smack talking, but where I met him at least was like at a player party. Very reserved, very nice, very polite.
Interesting.
So you're wondering, like, win $2 million, but how does he lose? Because he ended up losing 1.35 million in this game. The next closest was Tan Zhuan, lost almost 600K. So Tony G gets crushed. Elton Sang, big winner, 1.2 million. Andy Nee, 1.2 million. Phil Ivey was up almost 600K. He was in the game. So how does he lose? Well, first, there was a big one, the ultimate cooler, kings into aces.
What are you going to do? Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Let's show him.
Aces for Elton on the button. Limps it in. And kings for Tony G. Oh, boy.
The limp on the button. How can Tony G ever give Elton credit for aces?
The limp re-raise to 70.
机会偷沙巴哥，偷的，肯定是 over
I don't blame Tony G for him thinking he's got the best hand and make it 245.
He's got the second nuts pre-flop. Randy, he's got a character across the way who gets frisky, takes some creative lines. But in reality, all he's got is a big, big problem.
150K. I feel like Tony's committed. Like you can see him kind of shaking his head a little bit. He's put in a third of his stack in pre-flop. He's all in.
Check jams. Figures we're going to get it all in anyways. $1.5 million out there.
One more out. One time.
GG Tony G.
All right, so you see that one. That one's understandable, right? Like that's just the ultimate cooler. Sucks to be on the bad end of it, not get lucky. But there was another one that was a little bit of a cooler on the turn. This was a heads-up one against Elton Zhang, who, as I mentioned, was the big winner in the game, won $1.2 million, and it was in large part to this hand where he gets it in on the river against Tony G. Check it out.
Another premium ace for Tony G. Blind versus blind.
Elton getting in there, Queen 10.
And flopping trips. Quarter pot follow through.
Quick call.
Wow. The check raised to 50, an extra 30 plunked in there by Tony, and a problematic turn as he hits the king. 75K. Bet and called. Another 150 into this one, and that 8 of hearts presents no concerns to Tony G, whose ace-king is going to turn into a bluff catcher shortly. I mean, the line is polarized as it is, so jamming does further support the I either got it or I don't. Hates to see this.
It's understandable he's uncomfortable here. His opponent is repping the 10 to check raise flop, bet turn, and jam river.
Here's the thing, it's not just any opponent, Randy, it's Elton Zhang.
Elton Zhang can show up with way worse than a 10.
Absolute gunslinger.
He calls.
Wow.
Oh. Good night, first bullet. Hello, 900K pot.
Good day for Elton.
All right, there you have it. Big Slick does not do the trick for Tony G. Almost a 900K pot push to Zhang. I mean, can you get away with it at all? Like, you turn the king.
It seems like some dirty spots for him. I mean, at least he got away with the bluff in that one hand. But, it hurts when you're going through a session and just like all the different hands go wrong in the different types of way that they could. So,
yeah, a lot of it's momentum too. Like you lose the ace versus king's hand, and then you have a situation where you have ace king and you had 3-bet pre-flop, you get a bunch of money in, and then the flop comes 10-10x, and you're like, well, I can hit an ace or a king if he doesn't have a 10. Then you hit it, and now you're playing a guessing game. So, I don't know. Only Tony G can say. I mean, he's played with him a bunch, presumably, and if he thinks the guy gets out of line, then yeah, you got to call down.
Well, let me flash on the screen here the results from that cash game. And as you can see, they're just eyeballing it up. Looks like there's almost like $10 million in play on that table. Just insane. Like, we talk about cash games, we talk about, the big game, high stakes poker, love those shows or what have you. And then you just have these games that
really big games.
Yeah, they're really big ones.
Yeah,
like, these are some of the biggest pots in the history of
Or
poker.
the blinds for this
at
game?
least streamed.
Yeah.
1,000, 2,000, 5,000.
So crazy to think about. It's like, yeah.
And of course, there's big private games, so who knows what those pots get to. But like Triton is definitely doing it right and giving us some entertainment there.
It's like an open and then a 3-bet. The 3-bet sizing is like an average salary in America.
That's
like,
what it just
a
like
year's worth of
boggles
rent.
my mind.
It's really wild. Actually.
A new car, all the things.
Yeah.
You just have to ante 2 months of rent just now.
Yeah, no, that's so crazy.
Let's turn our attention to another big poker player, Erik Seidel, victorious.
He's so good.
It's what I like about Erik Seidel is he was in the Poker Hall of Fame. I don't remember what year it was. I could look it up here quick. But his best years, his career years, have all come after he was already in the Hall of Fame.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I'm talking about him down at the 2024 Seminole Hard Rock Poker Open, the SHRPO as they call it. This is a fun event. I used to work it. Today, it's called the Big Four. So they have like the main event, the high roller, the final tables of 4 different events play out. They're actually playing out as we're recording this. I'm going to check in on them in just a moment.
Shannon Shore was like 4 left in one of them or something like that, or maybe 9 left.
Well, we'll check it in just a second, but I do want to talk about it was the $10,000 deep stack no limit hold'em, got 69 runners, $655,000 prize pool. Erik Seidel strikes a deal with Clemendang, essentially take the same amount of money, but Erik Seidel gets the title. I don't know. Erik Seidel is just one of my favorites in poker. You don't hear controversy. He never is in like a bad mood or complaining about anything.
Yeah.
He's just very stoic. He's got a little mystery element to him because he's not very public. I know he's got a wife. He lives in New York. He's got a daughter who's grown up and he loves music because Connor Richards wrote a Global Poker Award nominated piece on Erik Seidel's love of music. And I don't know. And of course, Rounders.
I am.
Yeah, all of it's sick. He's the boss.
And hey, did you hear this news? Rounders 2, maybe Matt Damon gave an interview.
Cool. Yeah.
I don't know.
I always get nervous. I always get nervous with the remakes of the sequels of the former critically acclaimed, and then the studio just says, "Fuck it, we ball. We're going to spend 22 mil, and we're getting 100 mil out of it, even if it sucks."
Well, yeah, and what direction would they go with it? Like, was Matt Damon like a lawyer then for 20 years, and he's like, "No, I got
Worms worked in a casino for 12 years, and he's figured out the exact way the cage is." Brad Pitt from Ocean's 14 and a half.
No, or he's like, "Oh, I got to go bail Worm out again after being the lawyer. Now I got to go gamble his way out." Like what? Like I don't know.
Matt Damon has become the poker champion. He's nominated for the Poker Hall of Fame the same year as Daniel Negreanu, but they only allow one person in every year. Who's gonna,
From what I understand, so they asked Matt Damon if you could do a sequel to any movie, and he said Rounders, which I thought was pretty cool. And then apparently the screenwriters Brian Koppelman and David Levine, they did write a sequel. Now, this was like 10 years ago, and it was something to do with online poker, and of course, that's changed a lot.
Sure.
But from what Damon was suggesting, it wouldn't take that much to revamp it, and he liked what they had. The issue sounds like it's an ownership issue, right? Miramax made this. That was Harvey Weinstein's company, and that just all went to shit, and now there's just this different who owns the actual property. So whether or not it actually gets made, we'll have to wait and see. But I would like to see it be made.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so fun fact about me is I got a new cat last year, and I wanted to give it, I wanted to be like, I'm going to give it a gambly poker name, but also wanted it to go with my other cat's name. So my other cat's name is Bug, so I named my new cat Worm.
Oh, that's really
that's a cute Kyna story. You're welcome, guys.
You'll have to send me a picture so I can show that on the podcast.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Some other winners from the Seminole Hard Rock Poker Open. Darryll Fish claimed a title. Ari Engel, Phil Hui. Darryll Fish won the Big Stack, or the Deep Stack Big O. I'm not much of a Big O player. I played it a couple times. Either of you?
No.
Big O? No.
I've played it a couple times.
Yeah.
I never played it, I don't think.
They actually call me Big O.
Oh, yeah. I can see it.
But I've never really played the game,
Yeah. Big O,
Anyway.
Big O Holtz.
Yeah, that's what they say.
Ari Engel always seems to win a trophy
I was
down at
just
Seminole
going to
Hard
say,
Rock.
how does Ari Engel just at every single stop win like a mixed game event?
And
like
it was
every
8-game mix
good.
for almost 13K. I believe he defeated.
You've all won the guitar. That's my guy.
I believe Ari defeated UV in that event too. So that was interesting. Philip Wee, mixed PLO. There's just a long list of winners. They have 50-something events. Javier Zarco took down one. Nick Eunice, we've talked about him before, the Chilean goat. And
the Chilean goat, yeah.
Let me check here the Big 50, right? So there was Kevin Orday won the 3,000 deep stack no limit hold'em, $1 million prize pool, 323 runners, took that down for 190K. Jim Colopy, third place for 95K. We're going to switch over here, see if there is a winner in the $1,100 deep stack. Looks like they are still heads up. Benjamin Moschel versus Jean Gaspard, a.k.a. the Prince.
Oh, Prince, yeah. You say his real name, I'm like, who?
I want to have a cool name, man.
You do. It's Big O.
Big O.
I forgot.
Big O coming in strong.
Oh, soon. They had a high roller event as well, $25,500 buy-in, 67 runners. Bryn Kenny taking that one down. Obviously, a high roller who's been around a very long time.
Oh, cool, Bryn Kenny. We love him.
Isn't that funny though that got 69 entries and the other 10K also got like 67? So like it's just, hey, it's not really different. We're gonna play 10K, we're gonna play 25K. Let's go.
Well, he took that one down for 488,000. But after a heads-up deal with somebody we've talked about many times, he's continuing crushing for the past 9 months now. Dan Sepio. Took second officially.
Good job, Danny.
Yeah, holy shit.
390,000 for him. Alex Foxen in third place, 220K. Dan Sepio, I guess you can't really say
fire. It's crazy.
I don't think you can say breakout player of the year because he probably doesn't fit that criteria. But
feels pretty reasonable to me.
Yeah, a player who I remember playing with him in an MSPT back in the Midwest. Just the grinder. You could tell he's got something special, and then gets the WPT World Championship, and boom, boom, boom. Now is winning nonstop.
It's insane, actually. It's really wild.
He actually, the other day I played that 800 at the Venetian, though, and I ended up at a table with him. So he's just still out there just playing everything.
He's a dirty little girl. I love him.
Yeah, it's
he loves it more.
He's a little cutie, yeah.
$5,300 SHRPO Championship, $3 million guarantee, 865 runners, so almost a $4.2 million prize pool. This one was won by Paul Sneed, who did a heads-up deal with Clemendang, so they got each over $500,000.
Clemendang is fucking...
He's another one to just crush.
Well, you see, he's like chip leading the final table, the main event, right?
Of what main event?
SHRPO, whatever you call it.
He just finished second. That's what I just said.
Oh, in that?
Yeah.
I thought that was a different event. I was this shit's
He's crushing
crazy.
it. 2 events
Wait,
at the
that one was
same
for
time.
how much?
So he, as part of the heads-up deal, he got $512,000.
Okay, all right. Yeah,
in second place.
Yeah.
Paul Sneed won. Those are some cool names, too. Paul Sneed versus Clemendang.
It's because when you said Paul Sneed's name, I was thinking about saying, I actually have him on my fantasy football team. And then I was, crafting that joke in my head, so I didn't,
There was
fumble on the 1 yard line.
Jokes are a lot more funny when you explain them.
This was more than 10 years ago. 2013, April 2013, I was at Foxwoods, I believe it was, and I saw Paul Sneed. And I knew who he was because 5 years earlier at the 2008 WSOP on ESPN, he was 2-outed on the river by Scott Montgomery at a very crucial point in the tournament. And then Tiffany Michelle, that's when she went deep, called the clock on him deep in the tournament. And he didn't take too kindly to that.
This was the ace-queen, ace-10 hand?
I don't remember the exact hands. I'm trying to see if it's in the article. I don't see it. So I don't recall offhand, but there was just 20 players remaining. He actually finished in 21st.
Yeah.
But I always remembered that. That's how I knew him. So then when I seen him, I did a Where Are They Now? And then I've seen him throughout. I've seen him at the series, said hi to him. And now here he is winning $500,000 in a SHRPO championship, which is a very prestigious event. So
yeah, super cool. Way to go.
Love to see it. We'll have a full recap of the SHRPO up on PokerNews.com if you want to see all the side event winners and all that jazz. Congratulations to the Seminole Hard Rock. I can't wait till, and it's going to be many years now, until they build the guitar here in Vegas.
Oh, lots of years. It's going to be closed for 5 years, I heard, or something like that.
I mean, it's going to take forever, but if they can replicate what they have in South Florida a little bit here, not only in terms of the casino and the guitar, but maybe bring some of that poker flavor, and add it to the economy.
Just hit us with some flavor. Just a little honey mustard.
Have you even been there? You say you don't ever travel.
No, I've never been there. I was going to go this time, but I wanted to see my dogs after the Bahamas.
I was going to say it would have been a quick flight. Right,
it would have been easy for me to do that, but my dogs,
And seen your boy Jeff Matson, I think, finished runner-up in a tournament down there.
Did he?
Yeah. So that's why I'm like, maybe Mike's going there.
Swag on me. Oh, down in Florida. Yeah. Now this adds up. He texted me and told me, now it's all I know. I thought he was in Cali. He's in Florida. Let's go, Jeffy, baby. Okay, now that's way better.
Great when it comes together.
How much did he get second for?
I don't know. I don't remember what event it was. I just remember seeing it. So
that's Jeff fucking Madsen, dog.
Good job, Jeff. Yeah, I've been to the Hard Rock a few times. It's always a good time. It's a big resort. It's really pretty. It's expensive.
They have water slides there?
Yeah, kind of. Not like huge ones like you experienced in the Bahamas.
I'm a water slide guy now.
All of a sudden?
That shit jacked me up. I love that.
You got to come to Wisconsin. It's called Wisconsin Dells, America's largest water park. Not even shit. You've been. You've had to have been there. Yeah,
I've watched. I watched all the videos of Wisconsin Dells yesterday. I'm fully addicted. The Atlantis, best place in the world, best week of my life. It was amazing.
Well, let's save it for the WSOP Paradise because I want to get into it a little bit more. We're going to talk about that in a minute.
Somebody should fly me out there for free. I'll show whatever. Just get me out there, please.
Let's talk about the WSOP circuit that just wrapped up at Harrah's Cherokee. That's the one we've talked about before. I've never been to Cherokee. I know you both have.
Yeah, I've been
we
there.
talked
I've never
about
been
that.
to Cherokee.
Oh, you haven't? Well, she has, and we must have talked about it with a guest or something. But it was a 20-event series, and for the second time, it was Donovan Dean winning the main event, $1,700 main event for $326,000. Second time since 2022 he's won it. And yeah, that was a good showing by him, but also a huge showing by one Susan Faber.
Oh, right. Susan won two rings.
I was going to say, yeah, not
one,
but two. And she denied one of our favorites on the podcast, Maurice Hawkins, of course, his record-tying ring, defeating him heads up. This was in event number 5, and she got $33,000, Maurice $22,000. And of course, my good colleague John Sofin wrote a recap about it, mentioned the Maurice Hawkins stuff, and Maurice doesn't like that kind of thing. He took to Twitter.
He knows that John probably listened to bitch-ass Chad Holloway.
Bitch-ass John Sofin now, I hope. Like, I had nothing to do with this one. But I did see the tweets. I know he's not very happy. He's never going to love PokerNews. He's never going to love me. He's never going to love John now. So it is what it is. I don't know where things sit, in terms of if you ever resolved his issues or what have you, but he's been having some success on the tournament circuit. But for many people, Susan Faber winning and denying him was a feel-good story, but her winning two was definitely one. And
somebody told me too, she also final tabled the PLO event too, so she had quite a series.
She's a sick puppy.
They used to do player of the series at each circuit stop. That's how you would qualify for the national championship. You either win the main or player of the series. Then they changed it just to like the leaderboard, which I think is still the case. I'm not sure. I haven't played on the circuit for a while.
The circuit thing is just like you win a ring or a brace, you get TOC at the end of the year.
Yeah, that's right.
There's so many events now, like more events though.
Not a gigantic cash grab or anything. So fair.
All right, another big event that was taking place on the East Coast was the Maryland State Poker Championship at Maryland Live, $2,200 main event. This was sponsored by PokerStars. This was one of the, kind of path to the NAPT stops. And it was won by one Ben Gazzola for $110,000. But Parker Talbot, PokerStars ambassador, and most people know him as Tonka.
That boy Tonka.
I was gonna say, he's like an online. You're an online legend. He's an online legend. You must have crossed paths once or twice, maybe. I don't know.
I don't think online at all, but we on the live felt we spoke a little bit. I told him how it's funny. I had a hand with him. He sits down, like there's cameras at the NAPT behind him, and it's like the big buy-in is $5K. He sits down at the table and he opens and. I'm telling him as he's looking down at his cards, like, oh, I'm a big fan, yada, yada. Like, me and Spraggy go way back. He says, suck, what, blah, blah, blah. And he opens, and I 3-bet queens or kings out of the big blind. I can't remember. And he jams me with king, queen off. And he rivers me with, like, 2 outs. And he's just like, I thought you were just, because you said you were a fan of me. And good game. So that's the only time I've interacted with him. So I'd like to get around too if I could at some point.
Well, I'm sure he'll be back for the NAPT, as will Ben Gazzola, because he won the PokerStars Gold Pass, which is valued at $10,000, includes a $5,300 buy-in to the NAPT main event that's coming up. I believe it's in November. 7-night stay at Resorts World and $1,800 in travel expenses.
So cool.
I don't know, I'm excited about this one. I know kind of we talked a little bit. What was it last year? The main event buy-in was $1,600 and they upped it to $53,000.
Yeah, I think a lot of people were kind of complaining that it was too low, so that they upped it. But I don't know. I like the $1,600 price point. Like for me, like personally, like it's easier to just like commit and be like, yeah, I can play like $1,600, $1,700, even like a $2,500. But $5K for some reason just feels a little bit more. You don't have it's harder to have 2 tries for the regular old player, but I'm going to try my best and maybe satellite in, but definitely we'll play some of the other events like that ladies event,
You got to defend that title. She's the reigning.
Reigning, and if you win this defending as well. As far as the $5,300, I want all the smoke. I don't care what the price point is. I want them boys' hearts. I want to eat their children. I want everything.
I can't wait to see how you guys do, because like I can't play it. Being a official PokerStars employee, you guys are just freelancers. Prevents me from playing.
Oh, you're an official poker news employee.
I get that 401k. I got those benefits. You know,
So there's a way. Is there a payoff? Let me get a 401k. You heard?
but then you can't play in these PokerStars events, and they're so good.
It's an okay trade-off, I suppose.
But I think it will be a good event anyway, and we'll see how if it changes, if it gets bigger, if it gets smaller, who knows? But it was a great event, despite no matter what the price point was last year. Setup was really great. It was in a different area of Resorts World where it wasn't really smoky, and then you didn't have a lot of the casino riffraff, and it was separate, and I liked it. It was great.
Smokiness in casinos, it's got to go. What are we doing? It's crazy at this point that we all just have to live with these nasty humans who are infecting us with their cancer clouds.
I know it's been a big complaint at the World Series of Poker, even if it's just that little bit in the horseshoe, walking from point A to point B. Like, can we at least get it non-smoking for the summer?
Well, the V fixed it a little bit. The Venetian, like going to their new poker room, it's hard to go outside and smoke now. Like, people are going to have trouble at breaks because, you have to go down to the parking garage. That's pretty much the closest outside, but it's not like as easily accessible as walking out into the casino because you can't smoke up there by the shops, I don't think. So
that's just going to cause people to vape inside, unfortunately, but who cares? That's great. That's cool. I'm glad. No smoking in the area.
Vaping isn't really stinky.
Yeah, I'm cool. You can vape right at the table for all I care.
All right, well, I want to thank our sponsor for this episode, and that is WPT Global. They've shared some exciting news that I think everybody who's listening and can play on WPT Global is going to love. One is the Table Starter Boost, where they're introducing a new rakeback promotion that rewards players who start the action at their tables, earn 20% rakeback by simply being one of the first 2 players at an empty cash game table. It's a game changer, focusing on rewarding those who drive the action and not just the high-volume grinders. Mike, you're an online guy. Pretty good promotion right there, I think,
Gotta start those tables up, boys. Let's get those things pumping.
And then there's the 6-figure global spins jackpots. 4 out of 6 global spins progressive jackpots have now exceeded 6 figures. These 3 max hyper turbo sit and goes offer a fast-paced and thrilling chance to win big with buy-ins from just $1 to $100. And what's more, this actually came together today. I said, can I share it on tonight's episode? And they said yes. There is a new bonus code for those who play with PokerNews. Go to WPT Global, download and use PokerNews 1500, and I believe, let me just double check this. I believe it is a, get the match up to $1,500. There's also some other bonuses associated with that. Check it out.
You know what I love more than spins?
What's that?
Jackpots.
Like a $1.2 million Alan Kessler jackpot?
Oh, spray. Yeah, that'd be so cool.
I seen and heard even on the DAP Poker podcast that Kessler wins the $1.2 million jackpot, but is still selling on Poker Stake for the $600 PLO event at SHRPO.
Yeah.
I win $1.2 million. Me and 26 people are going to the Bahamas. We're all going to the Bahamas.
Definitely Kyna and I are in there, right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Well, speaking of the Bahamas, WSOP Paradise, December 6th through the 19th, going to be 15 bracelets, 50 million guaranteed super main event. We've talked about it before, but the schedule for this one has come out. So as I mentioned, the main event, $25K, 50 million guaranteed. This is the largest in history. I mean, the win, WPT last year was 40 million. They missed it. Are they going to get there?
It's 50 million, you said?
50 million.
Yeah,
so what do they need? They need 2,000 players.
I think they get it this year. They're gonna have a more concrete idea of what they need to do to maneuver.
I mean,
25K is a lot, though. I don't know.
I remember the PSPC there in 2019. This was PokerStars' big initiative, giving away the platinum passes there. And it was awesome. It was a huge success. It was probably the first and only 25K I'll ever get to play. Happy to be part of it. Didn't do anything in it. But they had a lot more time. It was a year-long initiative. I mean, we are 5 months away
That's
from
what I was
this.
thinking. Are they going to have some satellites for packages? I mean, if they did
GG
that.
have a
GG
bajillion.
Oh, GG, but not WSOP.
They'll get it 100%.
I mean, if WSOP had some here, that'd be nicer. I would try a few.
Yeah, me too, actually. I would love to play some satellites online, getting this 25K.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Hoping PokerNews will be there. There's also the Triton Million. I mentioned it earlier. Triton is part of this series. They're joining forces with GG Poker, and they're going to do it's one of those, the invitees, the businessmen, can invite a pro.
Oh, right.
It's $500,000 a piece to enter, and the field is split on day one, which I believe the businessmen play together and the pros play together. If
That's
I remember.
pretty sick. Yeah.
But that one will be interesting because how many people do you think it's going to get, right? So it's how many businessmen do you think it will get, and then times it by 2 because they'll each
hopefully
invite
they
a
get
pro.
like 100-ish. That'd be really cool.
Yeah, so like 50 businessmen, and
Yeah.
we'll see. Like I think that's a little ambitious myself, but then again, I
That'd be
generally
cool.
miss out on the mark.
So how does it work? They play, each side plays down to a certain amount and then they come together? Or?
I think it's just whoever survives after so much time, no matter how much on each
and
side.
then they combine for like a day too?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
okay.
believe that's
Yeah,
how
that
it's
sounds
worked in the
right.
past.
It's kind of
so.
fun. It kind of levels the playing field when you got half businessmen, then half pros, like the whole way there.
Yeah.
And then I see a Super Saver 1 million invitational bracelet holders who participate in the super main event and GG Poker package winners and 100K package early bird purchasers. So if you're a bracelet winner, if you purchase an early 100K package or you are a GG qualifier.
That's what's wrong with that early bird package. Is that one, you get to put 100K total or 200K total? Because the way it was worded was interesting.
So limited time only, early bird 100K Paradise package, limited time until November 1st. Deposit via the WSOP Plus app. Secure your package. Deposit 10K by September 30th and 90,000 by November 1st. So 100K by November 1st. Atlantis front wire 14. You'll get free 14 night suite room.
It doesn't say step 2 is also another 100K?
No.
Oh, okay.
And entry into the $1 million Super Saver I just mentioned and VIP airport pickup at the Nassau airport. Actually seems like a pretty good deal.
No, it does. But then do they, what was I going to ask about that?
Like Chad has all the answers. Chad,
Well,
tell us about
I
this
just want to know,
promotion.
like, if it's bracelet winners who play the main, maybe I can get in this. I can sell action to play the 25K, and then I get an invite, so you get a bonus if you buy. I might be able to do that.
I'm with it.
I'm gonna
Let's
have to
get it
look.
popping.
You have to look it up.
Looking over the schedule, 15 bracelet events. It looks like the smallest buy-in is 2,500, which makes sense. I think Negreanu's made this point before. Like, if you're going to the Bahamas, which is a very expensive place, you just
So
realized it, I'm
expensive,
sure.
it's bananas, yeah.
Yeah, $9 bananas, kind of a expensive place.
Yeah.
So to have a $500, $600 doesn't make really sense, because it's catering to the higher end thing. But they've got a 25K Dealer's Choice Championship, what I think is very interesting. They have a PLO Super High Roller for 100K, a Triton main event for 100K. Looks like a bunch of 25Ks and 50Ks. It's going to be a fun stop, I think. I think we're still waiting for the WPT win and their schedule and all the details on that. But hopefully it will be like it was last year, where those who want to play both can. Might have to get back last minute sort of thing. But I don't know. Did you guys get a chance to look over the schedule? And if so, what do you think about it?
I mean, I didn't look because I just, like I said, I probably just won't go. It's like a lot of very, very, very big events. It's expensive to get there. I had a great time last year when we did the Game of Gold reunion, and that was really fun. I'm glad I got to participate, but yeah.
Depends for me. I could support either one, really. It could go either way at all,
Well, you love the Bahamas now, right? Like, tell us.
I'm a big, the Bahamas is so cool. I'd gone earlier when I was younger, like every year when I was like 7 to 12. And then I stopped going. And going now, like getting the nostalgia. And we also like swam with pigs and went snorkeling, and the water's crystal clear. It was like, man, the wife and I had the best time. It was so cool.
You swam with pigs?
It's like one of the most popular things to do down there.
Really?
So cool.
Yeah, you can take a boat to like this island that's a little ways. They're habituated, right? This is what they do every day. I've never done it, but I've seen.
I held a pig. I can show you pictures. There's literally pictures of me holding a pig on an island, shirtless. Like, we're swimming with the pigs. I'm feeding them
with the picture
melons.
Oh yeah, we're going to be inserting that.
Yeah, I figured that's what I was thinking. I was like, there's going to be that. Yeah.
I'm glad you liked it. I've been a big fan of the Bahamas. I've been there. I used to go for the PC. It's always been for work, except for one cruise ship stop there, which was a lot of fun. But even still, when you're there for work, you find the time to do the fun stuff, the water parks and the beaches and that. And I don't know, I am a big fan of the Bahamas. I was there last year for the WSOP Paradise. My birthday is December 11th, which falls during this.
Oh, yeah, it was your birthday in the football game and stuff.
The Dolphins
mine's the
blowing the lead.
30th. Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
Well, but it is hard to justify for people like me when there is a whole nother huge event here in Vegas. I'm in Vegas.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Amazing.
Well, so we'll see.
Good,
We'll see what they come out with the WPT, and it'd be fun to discuss both of them side by side.
And of course, the EPT Prague will be taking place. So it is hard to draw when you have these great regional events that people don't have to pay for airfare, hotels. They can still stay home and get good value. I am curious. Obviously, GG Poker is going to be qualifying a lot of players. I wonder if WSOP.com Nevada, New Jersey, the merge market, and Michigan now, I guess, will offer any sort of satellites because that could be a nice fun
I could try to
option.
find out for us.
Yeah.
Also need to figure out what's going on with the rake back at the WSOP. They can fix that, I think.
Well, if you want to know more on the WSOP Paradise, you can head over to PokerNews.com. I'll also link to it in the show notes. We're going to close this thing out, but before we do, I'm going to end it with something fun, something unusual. But before I explain it, I just want to ask you guys, like, what's coming up? It's kind of a lull in the poker schedule, if you know, right now. The EBT Barcelona's coming up in a few weeks, but
I'm really enjoying all these Venetian opening events, though. Like the past 2 weeks, there's been a meetup game open, then there was the ladies game open, which was really fun, and then this weekend there's like a bounty, sort of tournament, bounty meetup tournament. I don't know. So I'm kind of going to support those. I'm like starting to change over to the Venetian side. I like all the new promos they're putting in place. The new room is great, so I'll probably hit them up this weekend.
Yeah, I heard you can get like your card upgraded, so you get some free parking.
Yeah, the parking. Pro tip, park at the Palazzo because the Venetian lot, I've always just cursed my way in and cursed my way out. But if you just park on the Palazzo side,
no,
it's
the
just
Venetian
like in
people
and out.
suck. One time I tried to leave. It's like they just gave me like $27,000 in cash. I have the receipt and everything, and they're trying to tell me I need to pay for parking, and I didn't play poker. And I'm like, come on, man. Let me
I know.
out
I kind of
here.
like wanted to put a Twitter poll out one time and be like, what is the worst parking garage in Las Vegas? And just make all the choices the Venetian. Just because like when they have that show too, they're like, no parking because of the show. And it's like, all right, man, but still, like I'm coming here to gamble. Like, you got to let me park. But if you have that card upgrade, they let you park. If you go talk to Tommy, if you're playing poker primarily, he'll give you a little placard in your car and you can park there too. So
very nice. I have to check it out yet. I still haven't. I was going to try to get there.
Yeah, we were waiting for you on Friday.
Yeah,
Rude.
I know. Something just came up. I couldn't make it. It looked like it was a lot of fun, but I will get there.
The last time I played at the Venetian, there was a very big issue with the what do you call it? The scoreboard per se? What do you call it?
The leaderboard?
How much cash do you get for the tournament? Why can't I remember the name?
The payouts?
The prize
payout,
pool.
the prize pool. Yeah, I don't know. It said a certain number. It said like
scoreboard.
No, I'm all roasted. I don't know. It said 5,600 for like 13th through 18th, or I'm sorry, it said 7,200, and then when we were down to 14, it just switched to 5,600.
I think I remember hearing something about that.
I mean, but like, let's just be positive. Like, they're making changes. They're putting money into it. They're giving it back to the players. Like, I honestly, I appreciate. I've been there more than I've been there all year in this past month.
I'm certainly happy that they're doing that as well. I'm just a little bit annoyed that I got potentially screwed out of tens of thousands of dollars. And then I talked to Tommy about it, and he told me he'd get me like a dinner at the thing, which is like, oh man, I appreciate it and everything, but like, man, there a ton of us are screwed out of potentially thousands of dollars. It was really unfortunate.
Well, hopefully they'll use it as a learning opportunity, as like kind of said. For me, at least, too, like I've loved the Venetian for a while. We've had back and forth with PokerNews over the years because of Sheldon Adelson, the old owner who used to oppose the online poker. But I know Tommy very well. I've known him for many years. I do believe he's a really good guy, a really good person in poker.
He seems great. I like Tommy.
And what was really cool, real quick, is, and I saw Sean McCormick, I think, shared this on Twitter, when they did the grand opening, all the different poker room managers and tournament directors and director of poker operations, what have you, from the different properties, from Win, from Aria, from WSOP, like they showed up to the grand opening of the competition, really. And I just thought it was really cool that they're supporting each other like that.
They're working off Atlas now too, I think. So like chip counts are visible.
Oh, that's cool. I like that.
It's different. It's interesting. Check it out.
I'm going to go check out the Venetian the next couple of days. So.
Yeah, I mean, there's a $400 bounty, like, I don't know if there's special bounties on some players, but I think it's just a $400 bounty on Friday. So I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah, is there any like 1,100s or 600s?
I don't know, man. Look at the schedule. There's a.
I want you to do it for me. I want you to do it for me. I don't want to do any work.
Chad, what are you guys playing this weekend? Mike, tell me what's happening.
We will look up the schedule once we go off the air. I want to remind viewers that we are releasing a Poker News podcast episode every Friday at 8 a.m. Pacific time. Do us a favor, subscribe on YouTube. If you're listening to this on your podcast platform, give us a review, 5 stars preferred, like us, and all that jazz. I want to end this episode with a little song. Now, this summer, I don't remember who he filled in with. It was either of you or Connor. It all blends together. But Kyle Anderson is our Ontario ambassador for PokerNews. He does a lot of streaming, playing on Global Poker and whatnot. And he had a friend of his stream drop in a song. This guy's name is Zander Stone. His screen name is Metal Mario. which I love.
That's great.
And
yeah.
Kyle was so enthusiastic about it. He actually sent it to me, and I'm like, damn, this is good. I actually like this. Ask him if we can use it on the podcast. So shout out to Zander Stone, aka Metal Mario, and this little ditty he put together for Kyle Anderson.
This little ditty?
Little ditty, little song.
Oh, a little ditty.
Yeah.
No ditty.
No P Diddy. And check it out, and we will catch you next week. I guess I should say, like, until then, we'll keep a seat open for you.
Bye.
Yeah.
With Kyle's stream, it's lavish. They're taking game before saying they always have it. He thinks before clicking call. Opponent flips over quad aces after the stall. Yeah, he rises above and sun runs. Final table in every big tourney, for sure having some fun. Being a PokerNews ambassador, buckle in with your seatbelt fastener. With the songs he sings off key, by watching opponents punt, telling shots. Some may play this way, but not me. Not me. Not me. Not me. With Kyle's stream, it's lavish. With the tanking game before saying they always have it. He thinks before clicking call. Opponent flips over quad aces after the stall. Yeah, he rises above and sun runs. Final tabling every big tourney, for sure having some fun. Being a PokerNews ambassador, buckle in like your seatbelt fastener. With the songs he sings off key, by watching opponents punt, telling shots. Some may play this way, but not me. Not me. Not me. But not me. Not me. Being a PokerNews ambassador, buckle in with your seatbelt fastener. With the songs he sings off key, by watching opponents punt, telling shots. Some may play this way, but not me. Not me.